Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Justin Davis from Drone Camps RC. I'm here today with something new from gearbest.com. Thank you Gearbest for sending this for review. This is the X252 Shuttle. It's by XK. It has multiple flight modes on here, 3D modes. It has 6G, 3G, and also 3D and idle up modes here. You can flip into idle up. I call it idle up because that's from the heli world. We also have FPV on the monitor here, and we have dual rates on this switch. And we have throttle hold. So very nice that it has throttle hold. Whenever you turn on the transmitter, go ahead and flip into throttle hold before you fly this copter. In case you accidentally bump the stick, it won't do anything. So that's a really nice feature. It won't fly up and hit you in the face. I'm gonna record the video and I'm gonna get started in the simple modes first. We'll fly in 6G. We won't go into idle mode forward here yet. First we'll do some simple flying and then we'll do some 3D sessions right after this. So let's go ahead and start the video. You can see that start recording there. So now I can go ahead and take off. I'm gonna flip in my hold off. Okay, I'm gonna move it back a little bit. Okay, so in this mode, you're not gonna have any kind of 3D stuff. You're not gonna be able to flip. All you're gonna be able to do is fly it just like a regular quad. So if you're a new guy, if you're a beginner, this one's pretty cool because it will fly very, very mild, but you still have brushless motors and nice LEDs under the bottom of it. So pretty cool that you have brushless motors on this one, because if you are a new guy, it's going to give you quite a bit of power. So I'll bring it over here and I'll do a little punch out real quick. We'll go straight up. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's come check out the yaw. And you can see my video is still recording here. Now, this one does record video, as you can see here, but I wouldn't say this is really a copter primarily for video. This is something like just a wicked 3D copter with brushless motors. So if you want something to do tricks with, this one's really cool. It has front headlights, as you can see here. Those are pretty cool. So if you want to do some night flying with this, definitely a cool copter for that. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been looking at the specs on this. It has 1304 motors. I believe it's a 2S battery in there. It's a proprietary battery, which I'm not really liking a whole lot. But if you wanted to put your own battery in there, if you were savvy enough, you could do that. But you might as well just stick to the battery that's in it. Keep things simple and order yourself a couple more batteries for this, which is probably what I'm gonna do, because this thing's a ton of fun to fly. So very, very maneuverable, even in this simple mode, this 3D mode here. And I'm in 6G right now. I'm not in 3D mode, so we're just kind of sport flying around, playing around with the... Hey guys, how's it going? Try not to fly over your head much with this one, because definitely could injure you or someone else. I'll give it full throttle. I'll do a flyby here. My friend's out there riding his bike on the track out here, so got to keep an eye on him. But it really does want to move out. Oh, in the tree, in the tree, in the tree. Nice save. That was close. So you got to think about what's behind you, if you have trees around. If you don't have a big field like this to fly in, you can definitely find some trees pretty quick with this thing. So let's try those dual rates. So now I flipped this switch on the right hand side down, so now it'll actually fly a little faster, a little more aggressive than it did before. It's still not going to flip, but it's going to go a lot faster. This thing really moves. So it takes a while for it to turn and stop and head the other direction. So think about those trees, guys. But I really like it in this mode. It's really fast. Kind of swing setting around way up high. Think about your people around you. Don't fly over top of these guys. How's it going, man? Pretty good. everybody coexisting in the field today together. So I think I'm getting around 8 to 10 minutes with this battery, which is pretty cool. I like the headlights on the front because right at about this time of day, right before dark, you can really see the front of the copter really good. During the day, you know, around noon, 1 o'clock, you're not going to see it quite as good. So let's see, that was dual rates. And so I'm going to recommend something for you guys. You see how I have my transmitter labeled? I took some paint marker with kind of bright neon orange, and I just put the modes on the switches because it's going to be really hard for you to remember these modes. Once you start flying it, you're going to switch into like 3D mode on accident and idle mode and all this stuff, and it's going to take off and do crazy things on you. And eventually, I mean, ultimately you're going to crash. So definitely label those switches for you guys before, for your copter, before you go out and fly this one. It definitely needs it. I'm still recording. We're almost 5 minutes right now, so I still got plenty of power. Here comes my friend on the bike again, so I'm going to move over a little bit. But this one's a lot of fun. I got this one from GearBest, so if you guys want to check that out. Brushless motors, full LEDs. I like that there's no kind of landing gear on the bottom of this one, because this one's pretty much a stunt copter, and you don't need it because it would just add extra weight. We don't need that on this copter. We want it to flip nice once you do get into that 3D mode. So biggest advice to you guys is pay attention to the session, the 3D session that we have coming up after this section. The battery is looking like it wants to come down right now. It is blinking red on the back, so just being more aggressive with it, I kill the battery quicker. So let's do some 3D with it now, and I'll show you guys just how super awesome this thing is in 3D mode, in that idle up. And I'll explain to you how that works. Before you get started, that'll be a huge advantage for you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to cut the motors with idle, with throttle cut on the right hand side. Now watch what it does. Immediately cuts the motors off. So let's go ahead and do a 3D session with this guy. This is the X252. Super cool. I like this one a lot. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you a special mode. It is the 3D mode, and I'm going to put it in idle up when I do that. I'm going to put it in idle mode with this top switch here. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Now this is super aerobatic, you guys that don't know how to fly an inverted stick. You want to be very, very cautious when you flip into this mode. I haven't really seen any other reviewers really flipping into this mode and flying it in this mode. I almost broke it when I flew it in this mode earlier, so you want to be very careful. Now what you have to understand about this is that throttle hold is necessary when you go into crash, because the motors are still going to be running at 100% throttle. If you're not dead center in the middle of the stick, it's going to throttle up on you. So I'm going to put it on throttle hold. I'm going to go into idle up. Now since it's on throttle hold, it's not going to turn on. So throttle hold will kill the motors. Now I'm going to put it in 3D mode. One more stick down there. And now when I take the throttle hold off, it'll spool up. But what I'm going to do is put the stick at half stick right here, like this. And now I'm going to take throttle hold off. So what's going to happen is when I go positive, the motors are going to give me positive pitch. They're going to come up. When I go past the middle of the stick there, negative, when I'm upside down, it's going to go up. So it's going to take some practice to do this for you guys for your first time. So make sure you fly over some field where there's lots of grass. High grass does help. Hit throttle hold as soon as you possibly can. So see, I'm at mid stick and it gives me throttle. So if I push down on the throttle, it's going to try to put itself on the ground, push itself down. Now when I come up past 50% here, see them switch direction? They actually switch. So think about that when you're flying in 3D mode. When you go upside down, it's going to take a split second to go back in that other mode. Now what you also have to be careful with is not flying into yourself or getting too crazy with it. Just be really smooth with it and give yourself some good space in between you and the quad when you fly it like this. And it does not have the most powerful motors in the world, so it does take some time to catch itself. Be ready for that. I'm gonna do some aileron flips. See, there we go. Now, throttle hold. So see, very important. Go back to half stick there when you hit the ground and hit throttle hold really quickly as you possibly can. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to start the video this time on this one. So now I should be recording video, hopefully. I'm still in that 3D mode, so I'm gonna go ahead and take back off. Not sure if it's actually recording on the quad. I'll find out later. Oh, we got a bent prop there. So I'll put it back on throttle hold. I'm gonna bend this prop back. It did come with more props, so that's cool. But that looks like that'll be just fine. Another one looks a little bit tweaked. Be really careful when you go to pick this thing up. If you don't have it on throttle hold, it could power up and get you. So half stick. Go ahead and take your throttle hold off. Make sure nobody's walking by. Go back out in the field. Okay, it looks like it's probably needing to be calibrated. The accelerometer kind of lost it for a second there. Lost it again a little bit, but not bad. So if you see it start to wobble, it does have a calibration mode. And this thing can get as wild as you want, guys. Gonna take some practice. And don't fly it right over your head, because you could crash it into yourself. Definitely not a quad you want to fly around other people. See those, I don't even know if you can see the motor switching direction or not, but it is doing that. So 3D blades on this quad. But very, very acrobatic, pretty cool. Could probably do some zero throttle flips there. See if you can do 2. I think I did 2. Try it again. I'm gonna come down a little closer to the camera real quick so you guys can see a little better. You can do a forward flip, come back and do a back flip. Now I'll do some inverted flying. Go ahead and put it in throttle hold, push your idle, go to idle switch, and then go down to 3D. And since I have it on throttle hold, it's not going to spool up in my face. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the throttle stick to half stick here, so I can go ahead, stand back and release the throttle stick. And then I can come off the ground. So I got a fresh battery right now, so I'll play around with this 3D mode. So I'm gonna go up and inverted. And you can see the motors, almost see the motors on video change direction. Let's do some aileron flips to the side and back. Good save. All right. Very fast little quad. You want to be on top of this one when you're flying it. So let's go a little more subtle. Let's practice some inverted. We'll do some spins. Oh. Whenever you go in, make sure you hit throttle hold, because those motors are going to keep spinning at 100% throttle and you'll destroy your quad. The battery always seems to fly out. All right, here we go again. I'm going to press the video on the quad again, and we're going to go for it again. About half stick. I'm in 3D mode. And you want to keep some good distance between yourself and this quad, because you will crash it and it will come down. It can hit you pretty quickly, so just be careful when you're flying this guy. The nice headlights on the front though. All right, let's try that again. Half stick. Don't forget your half stick. take off again. This quad is a wild man. The accelerometer slipped again. I might need to calibrate it. If you're ready for something wild, this is the one. Battery came out again. So if you have a piece of Velcro or something to stick around the back of this, probably not a bad idea to hold that battery in, or maybe even just a piece of packing tape, but I've constantly had issues with that battery coming out because it does take some thumps. There we go again. So you're gonna crash this one, and you know, like you've seen me flying it, I'm kind of giving it hell a little bit here, but you want to fly this over top of grass for sure. Go ahead and go back to half stick, make sure nobody's coming up the path. Take off. And I've kind of been practicing some inverted, so it's kind of fun to fly inverted. Biggest thing is this quad is black, so it's kind of makes it hard to see what's the front and the rear. When it gets way out there, it's really hard to see and figure out where you are. If you flew single rotor helicopters, you'll know that if you have the rear of it facing you, that everything is left and right still. It didn't have enough to catch itself. So these motors could be a little more powerful, but they are brushless. They're way more powerful than some type of brushed motor. I'm not sure a quad this size with brush motor could actually handle 3D flying, but this one's very, very capable. So I'll go ahead and set it down. I'll do one more session for you guys, and then we'll end up this episode. Here we go. Battery didn't fly out that time. That was cool. You see those props change direction. Remember, you guys, you want to keep some distance between yourself and this one, because even at my skill level, this thing is definitely, it can go anywhere at any time. And you got to throttle up quite a bit to save yourself. Oh, getting it over my head. So see how easily it can fly over your head. Just be ready. Try to keep it out in front of you. Here we go. Practice a little inverted again. Do some spins. But the more you fly this one, the more you're going to get used to this mode. The battery's dying. You can tell because it can't catch itself quite as much. So that's it for the 3D session. You guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll give you my final opinion on the X252. Okay guys, let's go ahead and talk about the X252. Final commentary on this guy. This thing is super cool. I had a lot of fun flying this thing. Like, it is a real badass, or it's very subtle. If you want to fly it really subtle and you want to fly it in this 6G mode, in that 3D mode here, it will fly very, very stable and very subtle. So if you're looking for something to fly on 5.8 gigahertz with the monitor that comes with it, this is kind of a double-edged sword, this quad. It does two types of things. I mean, it's an awesome FPV quad if you want to just cruise and fly around your local field. If you're a new guy and you just want to experience FPV, it's a very simple quad. It has brushless motors on it, and it already has LEDs on it. So it's a win there for new guys looking to just cruise in FPV and experience that for the first time. Now, for expert pilots, if you want to go wild with this thing, you can get absolutely as wild as you want with this thing. You can do inverted funnels, you can do sort of TikToks with it, you can do hurricanes with it, you can do all kinds of maneuvers with this quad, traditional heli type moves. So very, very versatile quad. Right away, like a few things that I didn't like about it probably would be the proprietary battery on it. So if they do a second version of this coming up, I would love to see that they change this battery so that we can just use any old regular battery with this quad. The other thing I'd like to see is this same setup. If they do another version of this, they did it on a carbon frame, that would be absolutely fantastic. All of this stuff on a carbon frame would be super stellar and probably a lot more durable, so you wouldn't have some of these internal plastic standoffs breaking in a really hard crash, because there are plastic standoffs in between both of these frames that are sandwiched together to make the whole thing, the composite. You will break those if you crash super hard on a really hard surface. However, the props are very, very durable. I went in on the grass over here and in the hard clay surface right there and took a hard hit and it bent the prop. I bent it back, put it right up in the air again. And it does feature those 3D blades on there, so you have bi-directional rotations on those, so they'll stop and go the other way. That's very, very cool in that 3D mode when you go into that idle mode. And I call it idle up because that comes from the heli era. When I was flying a lot of helicopters, that's what we call idle up, is 100% throttle 100% of the time, no matter which way you go with the stick. So that allows you to do those 3D maneuvers, because otherwise if you weren't in idle mode, when you went down stick, it would just drop the throttle out when you were doing those flips. So that allows us to get inverted and do some really cool stuff. So this thing is very capable. It's worth the price because of those 2 points that I made. The fact that it's a full FPV ship, or you can fly it as an aerobatic copter. So it's a great trainer in those subtle modes, or just go totally wild with it. I enjoy it, I like it a lot, so I'd put my money into it. I'd pay $175 for it myself, mainly because of this controller that comes with it also. I can use this with other things. I can bind it up with other copters, and it is Futaba compatible, so that's pretty cool. Brushless motors are nice on here. Those are 1304 motors. They're decently powerful. They could be a little more powerful on, say, like a 3S battery or something like that, but this is what it is. It is very capable of full-scale 3D flying with the quad. So that's where a lot of stuff is moving this year, with racer quads starting to have those bi-directional motors on them. Friends of mine in the racing community are actually starting to fly more 3D. So if you want to be ahead of the curve for next year, start learning how to fly 3D now. And then once you get a racer quad next year that has 3D implemented into it, you already kind of have an idea of what to do with it and how to fly it. So this is a great 3D trainer. Definitely recommend the XK X252. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot for watching the channel. This has been the XK X252 by gearbest.com. Grab one of these. I'm Justin Davis. I'll see you on the next one.